Hello there once again, students. So, now we have ourselves a store inventory program in Excel here, and what we're going to go over today is we're going to go over basically counting items and using if statements in this. So, what is an if statement? Well, let me put it like this: if blank, then blank happens. That's basically what it is. If something happens, then something else will happen. And that's what we're essentially going to be doing in this. So if we look at this, we were saying, okay, if it's under 100, order more. So this is not under 100, it's fine. This is under 100, so it's going to order it. This is under 100, it's going to order it. This is not under 100, so it's fine. We're going to get there in a moment, but we'll have to make this first. So let's go and make ourselves a new assignment here, and just for the sake of making sure everyone can see, 125, okay, and let me scoot you out over there. We're going to start this from scratch here. So once again, I'm just going to make myself the store inventory. And, I'll just make it a little bit bigger, or whatever, merge it. Boom, 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 boom. I think I bolded it. There we go. So we're going to have ourselves some products. We're going to have ourselves a product name. We're going to have ourselves a category. And we're going to have ourselves a quantity. Okay? Now, of course, obviously, we're going to stretch these guys out. Little bit, little bit, little bit. And we'll make these guys bold and underlined just because I like making them do that. So, so I'll have myself some food, strawberry. That's under the food category. Tell you what, I'll also make a couple of these things under food category. Tell you what, food category. Let's make sure they have the exact same spelling. Food. I'll make some clothes. Make some clothes. Make some entertainment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to ignore that phone call entirely. Banana, milk, chocolate, shirts, pants, socks, movies, games, and I'll just give myself some quantities here. So 100, 20, 40, 200, 50, 20, 300, 60, and 30. Why not? And just for the sake of making it look pretty, I will add myself a border, and I'll start, making a couple of making some rows, different font, different colors, just so it's more easily readable and you're not looking at a white screen with black text the entire time. Don't want to have you do that. That would, be a bit unfair for everyone. So, let me center it as well. Nope. I want to center that guy. There we go. Now it looks nice and pretty. So then, of course, over here, we're going to do something first. The first thing we're going to do, actual equations wise, is we're going to count out the number of item types. Okay, and I'll just, merge and center that. Oh, let me stretch that out a little bit. Stretch it out like that, maybe. Crunch it down. There we go. That'll work. That'll be fine. So we got number of item types. Now, obviously, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 different types of items. We have strawberry, banana, milk, chocolate, shirts, paints, socks, movies. I almost said paint there. But, so yeah, we're just going to simply count them. Count an equation. What does an equation always equal with? An equation always starts with equals, and then if I'm going to count them, I'm going to count. So, types of items, count. What am I going to count? Oh, value 1, value 2. Okay, well, that's that. And then, I can, comma this, comma that, comma that. But, we don't necessarily need to comma it. we can always just do the colon, start point, end point, close parentheses, enter. And it says we have 0 types of items. Why do we have 0 types of items here? Because I'm using count when it comes to numbers, but I'm using a string. Strings are words, they're text. So I wonder if I just do count A. Now it does 9. So remember when I said there was a difference between count and count A, or average and average A? So if I were to simply have done equal count, but this time picked the numbers, it would have gotten me a 9. But if I were to change that, and instead of gone from D6, I say did C and, a C there as well, it would have got me 0, because count by itself does not understand words. It understands numbers. So I would have to switch it to count A for counting all. And it gave me, there's 9 different slots, it gave me 9. So that's what that difference is. So we have one working one. Tell you what, I'm just going to copy and paste it. I'm just going to click and drag, copy, paste, drag you down. Oh no, what's going on? I totally did not foresee this obvious error that I purposely put in. So, you're wondering why do we have not 8 now? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If I were to keep going, I'd be getting zeros. Why is this happening? Well, when you make an equation, it's remembering the spacing. So it's not remembering cell B6. It's remembering 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces over. And then it's also remembering 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces over, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down. So if I go and pick, I don't know, just this guy right here, it's still 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down. So, this simply doing B6 and B14 is not going to help us out. We need to do something slightly different. And this is for all equations, not just counting. If we want it to physically always be B6 and always be B14, then what we have to do is we'll have to do, say equals, count, because that's our part of our equation, but we'd have to do equals $B, because it's going to remember B now, and then $6. So it's remember B, remember 6. It will never move from B6. And then I'll do the same thing over here, so $B, $14. And now when I close it out, oops, I forgot to do count all, obviously. There we go. So now when I just click and drag down for copy and paste, it's always 9. Doesn't matter where I click, it's remembering B6, remembering B14. Whereas this one was just remembering the position, this one was remembering the specific cells. So, we will just, actually, that was probably the dumber solution to do that. Let me just click and move you over here, copy, paste, and I'll just simply delete that entire row. There we go. Now we have something working. So now we know that, there we go, we got that. So now, we know how many types of items we have. This time, let's go with the number of food items. Oh, come on, wrap text, sweetie. There we go. So, number of food items. So now we're not just calculating if there's an item there. We want to see how many of them are food items. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now instead of doing a count, I'm now going to have to check if something is a food. So I will only count it if it's a food item. So how do we start every equation? We start with an equal sign. So this time, instead of just doing count, it's going to be count if. So if something, see, there's my range. It even tells me range criteria. So what's my range? My range is from there to there. And then, so so I can't use commas. I physically cannot use commas in this because after I do a comma, it's going to expect the criteria. So what's my criteria? My criteria is going to be I'm looking for the word food. So quotations, F-O-O-D, quotations. So it's only going to check if it equals food. And now I'll hit enter. And it's 4. Yay, because it checked there's only 4 things food. Even though it's checking all of this, it's only going to give me a response for the things that are specifically inside that quotation mark. Now, I wonder what happens if I purposely change this to a capital. Okay, so Excel is nice. It understands that capital and lowercase f are the same thing. Other programs will not let you do that. So you have to be very, very specific with if statements sometimes in strings. So now let me just click and drag. Oh no, what happened again? What did I forget to do? I guess I need to make sure that it remembers C, remembers 6, and then I have to remember C and remember 14. So now, when I click and drag it down, it's always going to be 4. So now, last thing, we're going to say, if under 100, order more. Oh, and you didn't bold, italicize, or wrap text. There we go. So there we go. So now we're going to have ourselves even more conditions. So if we are, under 100, we're going to order more. So once again, we're going to do ourselves another if, right? Are we counting anything at this point? No, we're just going to be using an if. So, let's just say, so how does everything start with an equation? Equals. So equals if, and now we have logic test, value if true, value if false. So there's 3 parts to this one. There's what you're testing, and then what you print out if it's true. So if this test is true, we will print something out. But if this test is false, we'll print something else out. So if, okay, what am I checking? So I'm checking to see if D6, so if D6 is less than 100. So if we are less than 100, we are going to comma, and then what are we going to do if the value is true? Okay, I will say order. We're going to order more if it's under 100. But if it's not under 100, what are we going to put instead? So comma, I'll put, it's fine. That's good. Yeah, we're good. I'll tell you what, I won't even worry about saying it's fine. I'll just put fine. And right now, it's fine. Now, if I change this guy to 99, say we sold one, it changes to order right there. So, 100, fine, 99, order. Now, in this particular situation, you could just type the same thing over here, but in this case, do I want it to always remember D6? No, because this one's going to be checking for banana. This one's going to be checking for milk. This one's going to be checking for chocolate. So in this situation, once you have one working thing, you could, Once again, don't ever click when you're inside an equation. Just hit enter. But once you have one thing that's working, you can just click and drag it down. And look, this one, D7. Yep, D7 is, if D7 is under 100, which it is, it printed order. This one is under 100, hit order. This one is perfectly fine. This one is an order, this one is an order, this one's fine, this one's order, this one's order. So now, just for the sake of making everything look nice and pretty, I'm just going to give ourselves some contrasting colors here. Just so we can continue reading along it. And that's generally it. So now you have done some if statements and some counting, and you've also made sure that you can remember things in a cell versus having it not remember in a cell. So once you get all this looking nice and pretty and everything's working as well as it should be, go and submit that through Moodle, and we can move on to the next assignment.